Hello everyone, this is the pre-market report video for today 12th April 2024 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. Today it was supposed to be a disastrous day, but luckily it now turned as less disastrous. You may ask why and how it's turned now as less disastrous. For both the questions, the answer is US inflation. The US inflation data released on Wednesday was disastrous, and another US inflation data that released on Thursday saved to some extent. Here, please look at this GIF Nifty chart. After the US market closed yesterday early morning, I took the snip. So, at the time of Indian market closing, GIF Nifty was trading around 22,850 and yesterday early morning it dropped all the way down to 22,520. Meaning, if Indian market was open yesterday means, then Nifty might opened around 22,400, 300 points gap down. But luckily, yesterday Indian market was on holiday and last night US market did clawed back at some loss. So, let's see in detail. On Wednesday, before the US market opening, US Labor Department released the consumer inflation data for the March month. If required, please pause and have a look. The top two on the snip is core CPI, core consumer inflation. Then the bottom two is headline consumer inflation, meaning core consumer inflation plus fuel and food price increase included. So, on monthly basis, both core and headline inflation increased 0.4% compared with February month, which is higher compared to what analysts expected. Similarly, on yearly basis, core consumer inflation increased 3.8% and headline inflation increased 3.5%. Both of them increased 0.1% higher compared to what analysts expected. And if we compared with February month means, then the headline inflation increased from 3.2 to 3.5% in March. So, it's a massive increase, and because of this, last Wednesday night, US market crashed, Dow Jones down over 400 points and Nasdaq down over 100 points and VIX increased near 16.5. However, last night, because of two reasons, situation improved. The wholesale inflation data for March month comes as just 0.2% increase over February month, whereas analysts expected it to come around 0.3% increase. Here in our channel, we discussed multiple times, consumer inflation CPI data always will give the present value, whereas the wholesale inflation or the equivalent PPI data is the first indication of future consumer inflation data. I hope all can understand the logic. Always for a product, first the price will increase for the wholesale dealer or distributor. Then there will be some lead time, say around 15 days to 1 month, for those dealer or distributor to pass the increase to the customer. So, how consumer inflation data is important, similarly, wholesale inflation data is also important. Now, we got the high consumer inflation number, which is bad, but the PPI data comes as low. So, as a first indication for April month, consumer inflation may not be high as March month. The other factors like demand and supply will still play a major role, but this is just a very simple form of connecting the equation. Second, we know in this channel, again we discussed multiple times, for the December quarter, S&P 500 earnings increased as much as 10%, which is massive earnings increase in dollar term. And still, that was one of the strong reason for the present US market positivity. Now, for March quarter, London Stock Exchange Group released the report that they expect the earnings to increase additional 5% on top of the 10% increase in the December quarter. And also they said they expect this 5% increase will be going to come from the big tech companies, which in turn rallied the Nasdaq. In the end, last night, Dow Jones alone closed flat, S&P 500 increased 0.74% and Nasdaq rallied 1.68%, almost double the points increase than it lost on Wednesday. Even VIX, it dropped from near 16.5 to around 15. In line with the US market recovery, early morning today, 3 a.m. Indian Standard Time, GIF Nifty also recovered and closed at 22,715. Equating it with the spot market, the gap down value from over 300 points, today it improved to just around 100 points gap down opening. Regarding Indian ADR, as it is, last night Infosys and HDFC Bank closed around 0.5% negative, whereas ICICI Bank ADR and Wipro closed flat to positive. And if we calculate 1 month arbitrage, if required, please pause it. All those 4 major Indian ADR stocks all indicating at least 1% negative arbitrage. Regarding oil, tonight OPEC plus countries is going to release their future outlook. Hence, in the last 2 days, oil price increased slightly. At the time of this video, WTI crude trading around 85.5 US dollars per barrel and Brent crude closed at 90 US dollars per barrel. So those were the things happened in the last 2 days. Now let's see the India related info. At present, most of us know now, today in the aftermarket hours, around 5 or 5:30 p.m. TCS is going to release their earnings. So that can cause some volatility as well. Regarding preview, quarterly basis, revenue expect to increase 1.5%, whereas net profit expect to increase as much as 5.77% quarter sequentially. And also TCS to maintain the healthy EBIT margin above 25%. Anyway, today officially FY 2024 Q4 earnings season is starting. Second, again we discussed multiple times about this IPO called Bharti Hexacom. Like subsidiary of Airtel, they provide mobile service in Rajasthan and Northeast states, and almost all the institutions shown very keen interest in buying the IPO, all those. Today, that IPO is going to list in Indian market. Finally, about institution, after 2 days of selling, FII turned as mega buyers. Wednesday, the net bought for near 2,780 crore rupees and DAA net bought for 165 crore rupees. As a summary, US consumer inflation data was not good, but wholesale inflation data comes as okay. So now market wants us to believe it's a okay data, so not sure how long we can pretend. But still, at least on Indian market side, Indian ADR and GIFT Nifty all indicating the gap down opening of around 100 points. Then as per stock open interest, PA Industries, Jindal Steel and Power, Balkrishna Industries, Cipla, Maruti, HDFC Life and National Aluminium got an increase in open interest along with a negative close indicates the short build-up. On the other hand, United Spirits, SRF, Federal Bank, Sun TV Network, BEL, Britannia and Granules India got an increase in open interest with a positive price close indicating the long build-up. About the things to look out, early morning before our market opening, Chinese trade data is due. Then during our market hours between 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., UK GDP data, UK industrial production growth data, then Germany and France consumer inflation all are scheduled to release. In the aftermarket hours, India's March month consumer inflation data is due, which analysts expect to increase 4.9%, below 5%. If it comes, then it's very good. In addition, India's industrial production and manufacturing output, all important India-related macro are scheduled to release. Then finally for US, their Michigan consumer sentiment data for April month are some of the items we need to keep an eye out today. Coming to technical, Nifty opened 80 points gap up above 22,700, then increased near 22,775 and finally closed at around 22,750. Thus, on the daily chart, it formed a bullish candlestick pattern with upper and lower shadow and with volume below the average. Technically, this pattern indicates a formation of a high wave candle, which is the indication of indecisiveness. However, Nifty continued the higher high, higher low formation for the third straight session, and also both daily and hourly momentum indicator had a positive crossover, all signaling the positive momentum continuation. Here, opening and maintaining above 20,750 might induce a rally towards 23,000 in the short term with a support at 22,600. Then, in case of Bank Nifty, it also opened on a positive note, crossed 49,000 level for the first time but still closed below 49,000. Thus, on the daily chart, it formed a bullish candlestick pattern with upper and lower shadow. Bank Nifty was struggling to close above the 49,000 mark. Immediate support is at 48,500 with resistance at 49,000. Any decisive move beyond this level is expected to trigger trending moves. On the options front, the maximum call option open interest was at 22,800 strike followed by 23,000 and 23,200 with meaningful new call option rating at 23,300 strike, then 22,800 and 23,400. Whereas on the put side, the maximum open interest was at 22,700 strike followed by 22,200 and 22,600 with new put option rating at 22,700 strike, then 22,200 and 22,800. Thus, from the options data, 22,800 is expected to act as a key resistance level with support at 22,700 level. So that's all in this video. Hope you all got some useful information. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video so it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investment decision based on this, as I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I'm doing this for me and viewers' educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.